Hello everybody, Chris here to show you this little bad boy, Assassin's Creed The Fall issue number 2. 2 of 3 actually, produced by DC Comics. Normally I'm not a DC Comics guy, but I definitely have been loving the video game properties that they have been putting out. Really great comic book. So since I got a good response and good view count for issue number 1, where I flipped through the whole entire comic book, I'm going to do the same for you with this one, and just give you a quick synopsis. And for everybody who enjoys the video and or enjoys this kind of comic book, please go out, purchase it. It is awesome. I really enjoy it, so I really believe it should be purchased. The cover I think looks really good, better in person actually. Some of the pictures I saw before I purchased it online, I was like, I don't know. But seeing it in person is actually a lot better, and the way it lights up, it really does kind of blind you like it is, like Nikolai here. But great book. Issue number 3, I guess, has been prolonged or whatever. It's not coming out on schedule, but I really look forward to issue number 3. And I'll show you guys that when I get it. For issue number 1, there was a couple of different variants that were really awesome, but due to monetary limitations, I won't be able to get those right now. But I think it is good enough of a book that it's you know, that I would sink my money into a couple of more issues of it, some variant issues. So really cool stuff. So let me open this up for you, flip through the pages, and tell you what's going on in this Assassin's Creed The Fall issue number 2. Okay, Assassin's Creed The Fall issue number 2 by DC Comics, and story by Cameron Stewart and Carl Kershaw, art by Cameron Stewart and Carl Kershaw, color art by Nadine Thomas. And so how it starts out here is we have looks like an old memory from the fella, I think his name is Daniel here, if I remember. But anyways, he's walking down, and this vehicle stops, sees he's got bruises, asks him questions, and he answers in Russian. Then here he wakes up, he's all kind of confused and dazed, and where it was left off at the last issue is where this Daniel was picked up by the by other assassins and taken to their camp. So this is where it's picking up from. And he's still all confused and in a daze. He doesn't know what's going on. He thinks he's kind of like in this cult thing, and he's just really messed up. And so here's the camp, and then she talks about how we brought you to this camp thinking you might be part of this camp, but you know, nobody even knows who you are. So they're thinking he's an assassin. He has no clue. He's still, like say, messed up. So he comes to this fella, and Bellamy, one of the top persons in the Assassin's Order here, I guess. And so he starts asking him questions. He still has no clue. You know, he asks him, where did you get your training from, and all that kind of stuff. And here he shows him, you know, well, how do you have this then? You know, and he's got this tribal tattoo of the assassin symbol. And notices here that Bellamy has a ring with the Assassin's Creed sigil on it. And then he starts really tripping out and going back into another memory here, and of Nikolai Orlov, and they're interrogating somebody. And here these two guys are talking, and he says, our brother Orlov's methods always so savage. And he says, the other fella says, he was a gentler man when I met him years ago, before they lost the child. So you saw in the first issue where his woman was pregnant, and now here they're mentioning that he lost a child, and the character is changed a little bit, become a little more harsh. But if you know Assassin's Creed, you know he has to eventually have a child, because the only way you get these memories, the future ancestors get the memories, is from them passed down from the genetic memory from person to person. So family is always an important part of Assassin's Creed. So anyways, he ends up telling him, well, kill him, we got some information, kind of, and we're gonna go to Tunguska. So then they're off. So then he comes back. They say he's all tripped out, that he was speaking Russian, and he's saying he needs his medication because he's having this bleeding effect, which is part of basically when you stay in the Animus too long, you're supposed to get this bleeding effect, but we still don't know what has totally happened with this fella, you know, whether he really is part of the Assassins or he was just an ancestor where the you know, Templars picked him up and have put him in the Animus so long that he's getting this bleeding effect, and it's messing him up lots. So anyways, he tries to stay here, and he doesn't want any part of what's happening, so this ends up happening. He's fighting the guys, and of course, because of the bleeding effect, he gets these memories and these unique abilities of his past ancestors, which in this case would be of Nikolai, and he kicks some butt here a little bit, and what's his name there? Bellamy, you know, pulls one of the hidden blades on him and asks him, you know, are you calm? Are you calm? I'm calm, I'm calm. So, and like I say, he's still messed up, and you're in this issue, you're starting to feel a little bit more for the character. In issue number 1, he seemed really like an a-hole, and here you're starting to get more of a sense of the character, so you're starting to feel a little bit more for him. So in here, I can't remember what her name is again. She mentioned her name in the book here, but I can't quite remember. But anyways, she comes to him, and obviously she's feeling a little sorry for him, and he's saying how he's so messed up, he doesn't know what's what, and he needs some help. He needs his medication. So she helps him out, and here she gives him this white hoodie, which is kind of like the assassin's, you know, costume. And he says if you want to get out of here, you have to blend in, which would be a technique in the video game to get away from enemies, would be to blend in. So anyways, they go to his place. He tries to find his medication. It's empty. He's tripping out, and he says, you know, I hate this. I never know when I'm gonna lose it. Again, see more visions and have the bleeding effect come over him. He says, I don't even know what's real anymore. And she mentions here, nothing is true, everything is permitted, which is a big saying in the video games. So anyways, he can't find his medicine. And so here she tries helping him out, and she explains to him too that even though she's in the Assassin's Order, you know, she's never killed anybody, she just works with computers, and that there's much more to being assassins nowadays than just pulling a knife or sticking a knife in somebody's back. And so she tries to help him out a little bit here, try to give into the memories a little bit, and he says one thing that sticks in his mind the most is this one image right here, and it looks like the staff, which you find out, the Staff of Eden, an artifact, an important artifact in the Assassin's Creed. In the video games, they're trying to find the Apple of Eden. That's the biggest thing in the video games, Apple of Eden. But the another artifact side to that is this Staff of Eden. So here's a memory. We go back a little bit to 1908, where Nikolai finds out about the bad guys' plans. They have a staff, and they're trying to do experiments on it, and they're going to go get it. So that's what's happening there. And then in walks Bellamy, you know, and he found out some information about that, about what was happening and about the staff and whatnot. And he asks here, you know, Daniel, you have to get up. It's not safe for you here. And he mentions that you have to tell us what happened to your great-grandfather, which was Nikolai. So this is, of course, making him have a little more of the bleeding effect, you know, this information coming to light. It goes back, Nikolai and them, they're going to go get the staff. They come to this tower. Again, just to mention, this was taking place in 1908. So he's going a little crazy, bleeding effect just trips him out, and he starts kind of playing out the actions that were happening in 1908. So he's going up the stairwell, jumping over roofs, and here you see Nikolai and the Templars getting into fights. The staff is in the middle. They're doing these electrical experiments on it, and Nikolai goes for the staff, and then some crazy, you know, tripped out stuff happens to him too, and then of course, you know, with the genetic memory, it gets passed on to Daniel. And you got a couple of great two-page spreads coming up, and this is where all the memories and everything connects from the Apple of Eden. And it looks like this is Altair right there in the I don't know, the shadow, the image of the Apple of Eden. You got this big view of what looks like maybe a baby Daniel, and it's just crazy how it just, everything just floods to him, all this information coming into him, and you're not quite sure what everything is supposed to mean, but yeah, it really, you know, now Daniel is getting a full idea of what is really happening. Couple great pages here, then the lightning bolt down into the experiment tower there. Great pages. This one is really awesome. I like that. I don't know if you guys can't really see there. See Nikolai, but I don't think you can really see it there. Maybe a little bit. But in the background, and it's like got this faded Matrix kind of look, but there is like Minerva and a couple of the other gods from the video game. Really cool. Like I say, I wish you guys could really see it, but it's kind of faded out, and you just see their shapes. One there, and one there. Really cool. I've never seen a page like that in a comic book before. I think that was a really interesting two-page explosion. It's pretty cool. And then here's where everything, like I say, comes to light to Daniel, and then he's saying that he knows what he has to do, and he has to find the mentor of the Assassin's Creed Order. And here Nikolai is saying that it's destroyed, but we're not sure of that, of course, in the future. And he's laying, supposedly it looks like he's laying dead, but you know, if he's lost a child and then he's dead here, well, that just can't happen, because you know Daniel is a future relative. So of course Nikolai is probably going to turn out okay, and then we're going to move into issue number 3. So that's really cool. And then there's just a backup of these Weird Worlds number 1 DC Comics. But yeah, that's that. I think it is really cool. It brings a lot of, pulls a lot of things together, and I think it's right on the brink. So I hope issue number 3 is jam-packed and has a lot to bring to the table, and it should be a lot of action and information all in one. It should be really amazing. Yeah. So that's that, you guys. Issue number 2 of Assassin's Creed: The Fall, and as soon as I get issue number 3, I will present that to you guys as well. See you guys later. Bye.